What's up, sports fans? It's time for picks and predictions for NFL Week number 11. And we're starting off this week strong, picking the obvious choice, the Tennessee Titans to beat the Green Bay Packers. I don't know what exactly happened to the Dallas defense last week. That was an abysmal showing by our defense, and also some bad refereeing as well. You know, it is what it is. It also happened in the Eagles game. There was a couple of bad calls against the Eagles that just... Or non-calls whatsoever. So last week was kind of funny for some bad refereeing, in all honesty, but in a multitude of games, not just Dallas and Philadelphia. But anyways, we did pick the Tennessee to beat Green Bay because Green Bay still sucks, even though they somehow beat Dallas. But regardless of that, let's just move on to the 2 o'clock game. So we start off with Atlanta versus Chicago. I'm going to be honest with you. Going through these picks, I have very few picks that I'm actually confident about. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm picking a lot of favorites, especially in the later half of the week, but I really don't know who to pick for a lot of these games just going forward. So, like Atlanta, Chicago, that sounds like a tight game. I'm gonna go with the Bears, but I mean, Atlanta might win. I have no idea. It depends on what type of team shows up, right? Buffalo, Cleveland, another one. I feel like Buffalo should trounce them. But again, I'm going to pick Buffalo. But that being said, I have this weird idea to pick the Cleveland Browns. I don't know what it is. Moving on to the next game, we have Philadelphia versus Indianapolis. I'm going to go with Philly. And this is probably one of my only confident picks is to pick the Philadelphia Eagles to beat Indianapolis. Regardless if they got a new head coach and all that stuff, Philly is going to want to make up for the fact that, bad refereeing is no excuse for us losing last Monday night. So let's come out swinging. I'm assuming the Philadelphia is going to absolutely destroy the Colts. So that's probably one of my only confident picks, especially in the 2 o'clock games. The next one up, another 50-50. It's flip a coin. Jets or Patriots. I'm going to go with the Jets, but the Patriots might win. I have no idea. I feel like all these games are either going to be really tight or going to be blowouts. But do you pick the right team for the blowout? You know, it just is what it is. New Orleans versus the Rams. Even though they're in New Orleans, each time I seem to pick the Saints, they seem to let me down. I have a very bad record when picking the Saints, so I don't feel confident picking them even in New Orleans, and I'm going to go with the Rams. Then we move on to Giants-Detroit. Pretty confident in picking the Giants with that particular pick. I'm pretty confident in the Giants in the same way I'm confident in the Eagles as far as that goes. I think the NFC... the NFC East is probably the strongest division in football right now. With Washington, Philadelphia, Dallas, and Giants, we really are the best division, I would argue, overall. Then we have Baltimore versus Carolina. Baltimore is the easy choice, and where I'm so 50-50 on some of the other 2 o'clock games, I don't really want to pick an underdog for this particular matchup, so I'll be going with the Ravens. And then we have Washington versus Houston, which... Let's see if I can get back on track making Washington the picks that I always pick. When I pick them, they win. When I don't pick them, they lose. So I seem to have a really good record with the Washington Commanders. I'm going to be picking Washington, though, this week, even though last week sort of screwed me up in having a perfect record with them. But I do have confidence in Washington beating Houston. Then we move on to some of the other games, some of the 5:30 games. We have... the Denver Broncos versus the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Raiders fucking suck. They've always sucked. They always will suck. Going with the Denver Broncos. Even though the Broncos are no sight to behold either, I am going to go with the Broncos. Then it's Cowboys versus Minnesota. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Minnesota Vikings are probably the strongest team in the NFC. Right up there next to the Eagles. It's either the Eagles or the Vikings. However, I have a feeling that because of our shit showing against Green Bay, you know what? It's honestly a toss-up to me who's going to win. But I'm going to go and I'm going to pick with the heart, the one thing you're not supposed to do when you're gambling. But I'm going to go with the heart, and I'm going with the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Let's make up for that shit showing against Green Bay, because that was partially, that was 90% on us, 10% on the referees, in my opinion. Last week, but this week I feel like let's have a nice clean game, and either way I think it's going to be a hard-won victory for either team. So then we have Cincinnati against Pittsburgh. This is another Bengals. I'm going to go with the Bengals over the Steelers, but once again, that's a toss-up. Finally, to end out the week, we have Kansas City Chiefs versus the Chargers and San Francisco versus Arizona. As far as Kansas City versus the Chargers, let's go Patrick Mahomes. That's one of the only confident picks. As I said, I've got a few confident ones: Eagles, Giants, and Kansas City. Pretty much are my only confident picks, so I'm going that way. And then I am going to pick San Francisco to beat the Cardinals on Monday Night Football. So those are the picks and predictions, guys. What did you guys think? I really don't expect to do well this week. I'm hoping, to break into 8-9 points, but I have no illusion of getting like 12 or 13 points. So many of these games are toss-ups, so if anything could happen. Anything could happen. New England could win, New Orleans could win, and Buffalo could lose. And you just have no idea. And all of a sudden, Carolina can beat Baltimore. I have no idea. So many of these feel like toss-ups to me. I'm not confident in most of the picks. So we're just going to have to wait and see. And hopefully week 12, I feel a little more confident going forward. So that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you back here next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you back here next Sunday for some more Sunday football, Week 12 of the NFL. Let's go for it, and how about them Cowboys? Let's kick the shit out of the Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. All right, see ya.